Week 12, Day 5. Morning Nourishment. Romans chapter 8 verse 4. That the righteous requirement of the law might be fulfilled in us, who do not walk according to the flesh, and according to the Spirit. Romans chapter 8 verse 29. Because those whom he foreknew, he also predestinated to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brothers. As the function of the law of life accomplishes metabolically the transformation of life for us, so the issue of the law of life is that we are transformed and conformed to the image of Christ, and that Christ is formed in us. The transformation in life and the conformation to Christ depend upon the function of the law of life and are the issue of the work of the law of life. The regulating of the law of the divine life brings the riches of Christ into our life and forms Christ in our being. Today's reading. In Romans chapter 8 verse 3 and 4, God has passed through the processes so that there can be an issue, that the righteous requirement of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk according to the Spirit. To cooperate with this law is to walk according to the Spirit, and to walk according to the Spirit is the way to cooperate with this working law. The law has been installed, but the law's function and the law's operation need your cooperation. Christ makes his home in our heart by occupying our mind, will, emotion, and conscience. Paul prayed that the Father would grant us to be strengthened into our inner man, our spirit, that Christ would have the opportunity to make his home in our heart. We need to be strong to agree and cooperate with the Lord's settling himself in our heart by filling every part of our inner being with himself. The Lord comes into our spirit when we believe in him, but we need to give him the permission to spread into our will, our emotion, and especially our mind. We need to give him the freedom to take over our mind, emotion, and will. Otherwise, he will be confined by us in our spirit, and will be unable to settle in our entire inner being to make his home in our heart. God's eternal purpose is to work himself into us and make us the same as his firstborn Son. The firstborn Son of God is the standard model for God's economy. This standard model has both divinity and humanity. Originally, he was the only begotten Son of God. As the only begotten Son of God, he was the embodiment of God. For all that is in the Godhead was embodied in him. He was also the expression of God. As the embodiment and expression of God, he became incarnated, bringing divinity into humanity and joining humanity to divinity. But before the incarnation, divinity had never been joined to humanity. Since the day of his incarnation, there was in this universe a wonderful person who was both human and divine. Our entire spiritual life before God cannot be accomplished by our own striving, neither can it be achieved by self-improvement with utmost effort. Rather, it is the responsibility of the life of God, which we have already received into us. The life of God, accompanied by the law of this life, dwells in our spirit. If we live and act according to this law of life in our spirit, this law of life can very naturally regulate out from within us, item by item, all the content within the life of God. This will correspond very well with the demand of the external law of God. and even exceeding, with no deficiency. Romans chapter 8 verse 4 speaks of this, that the righteous requirement of the law might be fulfilled in us, who do not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit.